Phil Murphy announced a milestone Monday, more than 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccinations administered in the state of New Jersey. But the governor says there is still a whole lot of work to be done to get all New Jersey residents vaccinated. We're joined now by Governor Phil Murphy. Governor, thanks for being here once again.
Great to be with you, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Governor, let's begin with the vaccine by the numbers, right? How many doses per week are you currently receiving from the federal government?
It's bearing down now 135 to 150,000 doses a week, but that's been going up. The Biden team inherited an empty cupboard, as they say, and I think they're doing a great job moving that needle in the right direction. And with each week, it feels a little bit better. We're still not remotely where we need to be, but the progress is real and in the right direction.
So you do have this ultimate goal of 4.7 million vaccinated adults by the beginning of the summer. With the supply so low, do you plan on speeding this process up? Is it an issue to get to that number?
Well, it's an issue, clearly, and supply is the biggest challenge. But, Dan, we took a decision as far back as the late fall that we were going to build out our distribution system in the state, even absent the supply we needed.
How?
So we've got plus or minus almost 300 places in the state, almost all of which have excess distribution capacity. So we get more supply, we'll be able to do it. Now listen, if they all showed up on one day, that's not ideal. You want a regular cadence, and God willing, we'll get to that sooner than later.
You know, it hasn't been easy for folks. Let's be honest here, Governor. There have been reports of people not being able to get appointments in New Jersey, having to travel from one end of the state to the other. And then this new report this morning that operators are telling callers there are just no appointments. How are you working out these issues when people cannot schedule it online? They then call and they're told there's nothing available. Yeah,
so Dan, you mentioned we had crossed 1 million doses into people's arms. It's actually over 1.1 million at the moment, which is great. We have pre-registered 2.5 million people. So there's an enormous supply-demand imbalance. The last federal administration, frankly, overpromised and underdelivered as they left. As I said, the Biden team, I think, is doing a great job getting that supply chain more robust, and we're gonna do our best in the meantime. We did set up a call center, which is particularly relevant for our seniors who were not going online. Stay with it. I would ask folks to have some patience. We are going to get there. We've made a lot of progress, but we still have to make a lot more progress ahead. Is there an issue with that call center, though, because of those seniors, for example, that can't log on, right? They have to call over and over again to get through. And then when they do, if they do get a person on the line, they're being told there's nothing available. It depends, Dan. I mean, not to get into the weeds here, but it depends on when you call. When the supply hits the state, we stood up a call center with 250 people. By the way, it's 855-568-0545, 855-568-0545. I would just ask folks, listen, this is not a straight line. Right. Trust me, we're not in the end zone yet. We're not satisfied, but we are making an enormous amount of progress with a lot of progress still to come. Understood. I guess patience is the key word here, right? And over the 1 million doses administered, I want to give the breakdown here from the website that you guys provided. 50% are white, only 3% black, 5% Hispanic and Latinx. So what are you doing to reach communities who are hesitant possibly to get the vaccine? Do these numbers surprise you? We're not happy with them, I can tell you that. We're not satisfied with them. We had a big virtual summit yesterday afternoon on this very topic. I hope within a matter of days, Dan, for instance, there are a number of steps that are on the drawing board and about to hit. CVS and Rite Aid are going to actually administer vaccines from their stores. A lot of them are in dense communities. I hope within a matter of days, in a partnership with FEMA, we're going to be able to start vaccinating folks in houses of worship. I hope that we'll have mobile units set up sooner than later to go into hard to reach communities and hard to reach persons like the homeless, for instance. Right. This pandemic didn't create the inequities, but it has laid them bare, and invariably the inequities fall on the shoulders of our black and brown communities, and we are committed to getting this vaccine to them. And by the way, giving them the context, because they're also the communities that have been abused over the history of our nation with the Tuskegee and other experiments. So getting role models to go into the communities, explain that these are safe, et cetera, is also a big part of our plan.
Understood. You know, Health Commissioner Judy Persichilli said Monday that officials who have recorded 31 cases of the UK COVID mutation. So how worried are you about this new mutation, and how are you working to maintain that from spreading?
We're concerned, without question, Dan. We assume it's in our state in a much bigger way. Those are the confirmed cases. So far, the science suggests it's more easily transmittable, but not necessarily more lethal. So that brings us back, and by the way, that the vaccines that are currently available largely deal well with this variant.
And with that known, are there any plans
then,
with that known, are there any plans to ease up restrictions in the near future in terms of indoor dining and so on and so forth?
Well, we did on indoor activities last Friday. I would hope we could do more, but it will be based on the numbers and the progress we're making. Right now, the progress looks good. But we're going to take this very carefully and cautiously, as folks would want us to. We don't want to, we don't want to flail around with different restrictions as a lot of other places have. We want to, when we take a step, we want to stick with it, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Understood. And lastly, Governor, more schools returning to in-person learning. You talked about this at your daily briefing, but for a lot of parents, they're asking, when do you expect all schools back to in-person learning? I know I don't expect you to take out your crystal ball here, but are you saying, well, this year may be a wash, but in the fall, maybe we can get everybody back into a classroom?
No, I wouldn't say either of those yet. I mean, I think it's too early to tell on what the balance of this year looks like. We want to get educators vaccinated sooner than later. They're next up to bat. There's a reason for that, because we want to get, that's a big step in getting schools opened. I can't give you a crystal ball on what the balance of this year looks like, but we want to get assuming we can do it safely, as much in person as we can. I would hope and expect that we are fully up and running in a normal school year in the fall. That is my strong expectation.
And do you expect teachers to be fully vaccinated for that to happen?
I think I would hope any adult in New Jersey that wants a vaccine by the early summer is going to be able to get one, regardless of where you come from, what your job is, how old you are.
Understood. Governor Phil Murphy, I always appreciate your voice and your time for being here on the Pig 7 Morning News. Do appreciate it. Before, though, I let you go,
Thanks
Governor.
for having me, Dan.
Governor, hold on one second, because there's this other big thing that you broke on your Twitter page, and it was very serious. I just wanted to throw it up for everybody at home, just in case they were wondering, and it was right there that said Jersey Pizza #1, period. I think Connecticut and New York may take issue with this. Do you care?
We respect our competition, Dan, but the votes are in. I'm sorry, New Jersey's #1.
Who voted?
King of the Hill.
Who was voting?
Well, I know I did. That's for sure.
Exactly.
But it's indisputable, Dan. We know this. It's indisputable. Jersey Pizza, no matter where you get it up and down the state, #1 in the country, #1 in the world.
Star Pizza, West Orange. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people are going to weigh in on that debate. Governor Phil Murphy, appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks for having me, Dan.